Hello, welcome. Carrie here from Homestead How, along with my friend Adam from Carnivore Today. How's it going, Adam?
Doing great. How are you, Carrie?
I'm doing awesome. I just want to give Adam a quick shout out and some recognition. And then I'll let you introduce yourself. But Adam's a carnivore like me, and he's wearing the Compassionate Carnivore shirt, which is awesome. But I don't know what it is with carnivores. Every carnivore I've ever met is awesome. And Adam, you're one of the first carnivores I met online. This is the first time we're talking in person. But Adam very generously said, I remember your email because it was really cool. You're like, Carrie, I don't care if I have to come sweep the floors, which is funny because I was just upstairs in the movie theater sweeping up popcorn. I don't care if I have to sweep the floors, but I want to help you with the Carnivore Diet documentary. And Adam has volunteered his time, and you've given me so many great ideas and helped me out and been a really valuable resource for the documentary. I'm kind of here in an echo chamber just looking at stuff. And so sharing stuff with you has been awesome. So before we introduce yourself, I guess, thank you. Sincerely, thank you very much. I really appreciate everything you're doing.
I'm honored to be a part of what you're doing, Carrie. Your energy and professionalism, and just knowing what this documentary is going to be. I just knew that I had to have just a tiny part of it to be able to help and be able to spread this gospel message, if you will, to everybody, because everybody needs to heal and stop the hurt in their lives and live a pain-free existence on this earth for sure.
Yes, absolutely. I couldn't have said that better myself. So, Adam, would you mind telling us a little bit about yourself and your background? How you came to carnivore?
I came to carnivore maybe the way that some people do. You're looking for a solution to a more serious issue rather than just weight loss. So I have an autoimmune condition called vitiligo, and that's a condition that you lose melanin in your skin. So you have these white patches where there's no color to your skin. I have some around my waist, and that had been there for a while. And the past 2 years, I kind of joined along with a friend of mine and my business partner, and he went vegan to cure cancer. So I went vegan with him to just kind of show my support for him. And my health conditions started getting worse. And the vitiligo actually started appearing on my arms. And that's when I knew, I kind of need to figure out what's going on here because this condition's getting worse and I don't really feel that great. So I started doing some internet research, Dr. YouTube, and I came across Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan has the same skin condition. And I thought, you know what, if he's tried this and he says that it has helped his vitiligo even just a little bit, it's worth a try for me. I don't care how crazy it is. It did sound crazy to me, carnivore, just eating meat and water. I mean, it doesn't sound like it. It flies in the face of everything that you're taught as far as human health and nutrition. So, but I'm kind of crazy. So I went ahead and tried it. I had already been intermittent fasting for about 5 weeks, 6 weeks prior to that. And I had lost about 15 pounds, was losing weight. So I really I didn't think that I needed to do anything else to lose weight. So I started the carnivore diet, and the changes that happened to me were absolutely insane after that. But that's essentially how I got started. It was not for weight loss. It was to help cure an autoimmune condition, which has seen some improvement in the 170 days I've been on this.
Wow. So how long did you do the vegan or vegetarian?
I did a little bit of a sad diet along with more heavily vegan. And that was about 2 years. So wow. Once he finally kicked the cancer and all that, I kind of weaned off of it a little bit and just kind of went back to the standard American diet. And yep, here we are.
So the vitiligo, it's so interesting because I heard you say that when I was watching your YouTube channel. And real quick shout out, Carnivore Today, awesome YouTube channel. Your production value puts me to shame. I keep looking in my back and I'm like, I gotta get a little studio. But Adam started a YouTube channel since we've met, and you're just killing it. It's really, really good. So I encourage everyone to go check that out, Carnivore Today. But the vitiligo that you mentioned, I heard you say that on your channel. I'm like, where the heck did I hear that before? It's such a weird term. And
Right.
I actually heard Joe Rogan talking about that before. I think it was one of his more recent carnivore videos. I think he's mentioned it a couple times over the years, but yeah, so this helped him. For vitiligo, is there any medication or anything that you're aware of that helps anyone? Have you seen a doctor for it, and did they try anything on you?
They do have some treatments. They're pretty expensive. I looked into it, but I never did any of that. I think Joe has actually done some of those treatments, but obviously he has a larger wallet than I do. So
right. And it seems like it didn't work because he's still trying to
Right.
figure out something for it.
Yep.
Wow. So you've been doing carnivore for almost 170 days now.
Yep.
So the vitiligo, you're seeing some improvements.
Mm-hmm.
What other changes are you noticing doing carnivore?
Obviously weight loss. So I had initially lost 15 pounds intermittent fasting, but that was kind of with the standard American diet. So it was almost like a starvation thing. I have a lot of willpower, so it wasn't necessarily like really hard for me to push through the hunger portion of the fasting. But when I wasn't actually eating, my body was still crying out for those carbs and that sugar. And it was pretty rough, but I was losing some weight. I wasn't feeling the greatest. But as soon as I started carnivore, I mean, it was like the chains were taken off, and I felt so much better. The inflammation was gone. I lost a ton of weight almost immediately. I'm down 65 pounds now.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm down to maybe the last 5 or so pounds, just trying to do some body recomposition, but brain fog is gone. Mental clarity is through the roof. I had a traumatic brain injury in 2017 where I had lost 10% of my brain function.
Wow.
And I was on all kinds of medication for that. They were putting me on stuff like Adderall and just Vyvanse and all these crazy medications to try to, perk up my mental clarity, because it wasn't there. I was on shortened days for months and months at work because I couldn't sit in front of the computer. I had balance issues and all sorts of things. And that gradually got better over time, but it never really got to 100%, maybe 95% or so. Once I went carnivore, though, the whatever it was that I felt like I was deficient, that 5%, I swear it seems like I went that 5% and then another 50%.
Wow.
Because like you're able to do the work of 3 people. I feel the exact same way. It's really incredible, the power of eliminating all this other stuff and just eating a few simple things that are incredibly nutrient dense. Those are just a few things, though.
That's a lot, though. You mentioned inflammation. I think that's such a huge thing. I think I had inflammation for so many years, and I didn't even really think about it or realize how it was affecting me, because I think the inflammation, like for me, it was lower back pain, my elbows, and then the last year I've talked about how my foot hurts so bad. But then I've recently learned that a lot of people have brain fog, they think that's from inflammation too. And a lot of these things are just sort of external things you're seeing, like, oh, pain in my elbow, pain in my foot. But then it's like, geez, what's going on inside my body with your organs and your brain and everything else when it's all inflamed like that? I think that's one of the huge benefits of carnivore, that everyone thinking about doing carnivore is like, I want to lose 30 pounds or a bunch of weight or something like that. But that's just a huge benefit I think a lot of people overlook. It's so cool hearing you say all of your improvements, doing the work of 3 people. So I'm at the movie theater right now, for those that don't know. And it's been so cool, Adam. I've been having more and more people coming into the theater. And a guy came in today and he was like, oh my God, it's you. And I'm like, what? Who are you? It was the craziest thing ever. Like, I've had a couple people come in and say hi, and that's always really cool. There's this one lady and her mom. They've come in a couple times now, and they're the nicest people. And I might be going with Emma with them down to a meetup in Illinois. But anyways,
cool.
This guy that came in, he sounded just like you, and it sounds like just like every other carnivore. And it's just like he was inflammation's gone. He's only been going 2 weeks on carnivore, and he's probably going to watch this later. He's watching the movie now, but I'm going to talk to him after the movie. He's only been 2 weeks on carnivore, and he's like, Carrie, I had the worst. It must have been inflammation, but I had the worst back pain forever, for years, for like 10 years, like a decade. And he's like, I just thought it was, like the discs rubbing up against each other, or I pulled it at some time when I was younger and kind of reckless. And it's just one of those things. It's never going to go away. And I was like, man, you sound exactly like me, because I had that same thing. I was just like, this is it. I'm just always going to have this pain in my lower back, and it fluctuates a little bit. In 2 weeks, his back pain's completely gone.
That's just awesome.
It's just crazy. And he sounds just like you. He's like, I'm getting the work done with 3 people. He's only 2 weeks in. I'm like, man, I really think there's this thing too, where I try not to hype carnivore up too much, but I know I do all the time. But I think there's certain people that maybe were just super inflamed before. I don't know. Or maybe it's genetics, where it's like they just have this crazy reaction a lot quicker than other people. I still think carnivore is amazing for everybody. But this guy, when he was talking, he sounded like me on like my day 30, where I was just, people were like, chill out. We get it. All right. It's amazing. That's what this guy was like. It was kind of pretty cool, actually.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
What about, I don't know if you mentioned this, but has your sleep changed at all? Or did you ever have any sleep issues before?
I didn't think that I had sleep issues at all. I was always able to sleep, 10 hours a night, 8 to 10 hours, and not have an issue. But my thing has always been, I could never wake up in the morning. It'd always take like 2-3 hours for me to wake up, so you'd have to pound the coffee and Diet Pepsi and all this stuff, to try to get the caffeine in. And maybe about 4 to 5 weeks into carnivore, I was actually sleeping less, considerably less. I mean, between 6 and 8 hours. And I felt like I was awake when I woke up, because the sleep was just so much deeper. Yeah. And my Apple Watch actually proved that.
Oh, you got the data. You got the stats.
Yeah,
That's
awesome. It actually shows the data, which the Apple Watch is incredible for that sort of thing, to track your progress and whatnot. But my resting heart rate prior to going carnivore was about 100 beats per minute. And it went all the way down to 85 beats per minute within 4 weeks of going carnivore. So that was insane as well. I'm like, I didn't even know it was 100 beats per minute. I always felt like my heart was beating faster than normal.
Right.
But the carnivore just made everything kind of settle down and just get incredible sleep now. It's absolutely amazing.
Likewise. Yeah, that's the biggest game changer. Speaking of Joe Rogan, that was a video. I was seeking out any help for sleep. I had insomnia. I was on medication for insomnia. And Joe Rogan had Matthew Walker on, this sleep expert. And he was that's all he does, is he talks about sleep. But he was talking about it's the most important thing, maybe other than nutrition. I don't know. He's like, it's one of the most important things that's so overlooked, where people are always just like, I get my 8 hours or whatever. I do the best I can. And I think it's just getting worse and worse for people. He had all these stats, like when they do daylight savings time, how many people end up having heart attacks just when they lose 1 hour of sleep. Heart attacks just go through the roof. It's really so important.
Wow.
And I feel what you're saying totally, because my sleep is worth the price of admission alone. It's so much better. And it's one of these things, like when it happened to me the first time, I was like, whoa, this is what it feels like to get a good night's sleep. I don't even remember this. And then I was thinking back to when I was like, yeah, it was like when I was a kid. I think that's what I thought of. I'm like, oh, this is like when I was a kid. I'm sleeping so deeply now. And for me, as I've progressed through carnivore, like on day 30, I was getting that amazing sleep. But it's even gotten better to the point where now I'm getting up earlier and earlier. I was like, for a long time, I was getting up at like 6:30 and then 5:30. And this morning, I had some video on my phone. I was up at 4:30. But I woke up and I'm like, wow, I'm wide awake. It was so funny. I did a little short. I didn't publish it yet, but I did a little short. I woke up our chickens this morning. I woke them up. Normally that rooster's waking me up. I went out there. I woke him up. I was like banging on the chicken coop. I'm like, get up. Time to go. It was pretty funny. Awesome. But yeah, it's crazy. I have so much energy now. And I say that to people, and sometimes you get the feeling like, oh, you're just bragging or whatever, but it's so true. Everyone. And if you don't believe me, just use your own 2 eyes and look around. Look at Dr. Chafee. He's a perfect example. Guy does like 18-hour shifts doing neurosurgery, probably pretty taxing. And then when he's done with that, he does more YouTube than I do. And I'm on YouTube every single night. Every single night this week, I got another interview. That man does more work than I do. And then on the weekends, he does nutritional work with people, helping them, people that have Crohn's and colitis. He's helping cure them with carnivore diet. But every carnivore, like Dr. Barry too, that man's just working insane hours. Everyone, it sure is something. It's weird because I have the more energy, but have you noticed, Adam, like your brain, it's just, Joe Rogan said it best a couple of weeks ago when he went back on carnivore. He's like, it's just so weird. It's hard to describe, but I read a book and I'm just breezing through it. I comprehend things better. It's like your brain is on autopilot on carnivore.
For sure. Definitely. I feel like laser hyper focused on almost everything. And it's sometimes I have to, pull the reins back a little bit.
Yes.
Because I'm going way too fast, for everybody else. So yeah.
I wish I should go get this guy because I think he would rather be talking right now than watching the movie this guy I was telling you about. He said the same thing. He was like, someone just told him, slow down. I don't know what you're saying. And we were joking. We're like, whoever you were talking to just needs to go on carnivore. Then they'll be able to keep up with you better.
Exactly.
But he said this to me too. And I've heard a couple of people say this. They're like, those, like the carnivore videos I've been doing sometimes on Tuesday, I've done quite a few where I'll just sit in front of the camera and I won't edit it. And I'll just speak for 25, 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. And he's like, how do you do that? He's on week 2 now. I'm like, just wait till you get to like week 4, because I'm not trying to hype carnivore. I could never do that before carnivore. It's just like your brain is running on a different fuel that it needs or something. I could never do that before carnivore. I would have been stuttering and stammering, and I would have to edit all of that together. So it's something. There's science on it too, though. It's like, don't just take my word for it. Here's one thing, Adam, that I've learned recently. So I have a heart murmur. I've been to cardiologists so many times. I don't know. I haven't even really talked about that much in my updates in the past, but none of the cardiologists ever told me this, but I think Dr. Chafee mentioned it to me, and there's a bunch of papers on it. When your body is in ketosis, your heart actually functions more efficiently. It actually functions better in ketosis. I don't know if you knew this, and everyone's just like, duh, we all knew that, but I never knew that before. And now, in retrospect, at 42 years old, I've been to so many cardiologist appointments for this irregular heartbeat, and they've done tests on me, but no one has ever mentioned it. Not that that's going to cure everything for me, but I would have liked to know that, like, hey, one thing you could just do, just eat natural, and then your heart will actually be pumping and functioning a lot better. Kind of to your point earlier, and I was just talking to someone about it, like, I got to go back in the doctor and get another heart monitor put on and see if I still, because I have this really weird murmur. It'll beat regularly, and every now and then it'll do it unusually, but I just get the feeling it's probably better. So maybe I'll do a YouTube video on that, and we'll have to see.
Sure you will, Carrie.
Yeah, because even before, like, sometimes I would feel it, and sometimes I this was the other thing. The girls and I, we all went to church this morning, and I was just thinking this. I had like a flashback from like a year ago in church. In church, you sit down, and then every couple of minutes, it's like, okay, stand up now, and we're going to sing. Well, when that happened last year, like every time I'd stand up with my big belly hanging over, I'd get a little dizzy, and I would always hold the chair in front of me, the pew in front of me. And this time I noticed it today because I got up and down. I was like, oh, this is like effortless now. I'm none of that anymore whatsoever. So I'm really interested. I got to get some more heart tests done because I think it's improved on carnivore too, which is just, it's amazing. It's really hard to believe.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm right there with you with the sitting down and standing up thing, because the past decade or so, I was a sports photographer, a photojournalist for Wire Services. And now, before anybody gets any ideas, I don't do the politics thing. So I know that, the media is generally looked at in a certain light. I was always the odd man out. So I didn't partake in any of that. I just went and did my job and things like that. But there was actually times when I would go to a PGA tour and, Tiger Woods would be on the 18th hole, and I'd have to lean down or kneel down to get a good shot. And I went to go stand up one time, and I literally almost blacked out and rolled down one of these hills at the 18th hole on CBS. And at that point I was like, man, I have to kind of throttle this back a little bit. And that was part of the traumatic brain injury. But since I've gone carnivore, no issues whatsoever with that at all. The lightheadedness, the dizziness. I don't know if was part of the brain or part of the heart stuff, but it's gone. It's I'm glad I won't be blacking out on TV.
Yeah, in front of Tiger Woods, nonetheless.
Right.
That's amazing. I just wish, well, maybe when we do the carnivore diet documentary and get this word out more to people, they'll start doing more studies and things like that. Because wouldn't it be great if we had more on that? Because like with you blacking out and me, I'm wondering, like, maybe it was multiple things, but maybe that was inflammation, because they say inflammation in the brain causes brain fog. Maybe it was the heart, and the heart's functioning better in ketosis, so maybe it's pumping better and keeping you going that way. But it'd be so cool if they could start doing some studies on these. That's the one big argument I keep hearing against carnivore is like, oh, there's no big peer review, long-term, multi-million-dollar studies. And it's like, yeah, because there's no money to be made if everybody does carnivore. If everybody does carnivore, there's a lot of money to be lost for the sugar industry and the industries that are sponsoring most of the studies that tell us that eat meat and you're going to end up dying. It's like, I said that with Dr. Chafee. It's like, if you want to sell a lot of sugar, that's all you got to do is do a bunch of studies, spend millions of dollars saying meat's going to kill you. And everyone's alternative, what is it? You're just going to eat a whole bunch of sugar, which is sadly what's happening now.
So true.
Have you, Adam, had any big carnivore epiphanies afterwards? Like, feel like you're kind of got out of the matrix and everyone else is still in it? You're out of the fog, but everyone else is still in it?
Yeah. I definitely have a lot more concern, I guess you could say, for others and their walk in life. Just walking through the store, you can see, you can just tell pretty much, what's going on in these folks' lives because you were there, and I just want to walk up to every single person and say, hey, try this diet out. It might help you, but obviously that wouldn't be appropriate. But that's one of the biggest things that I've noticed since I've gone carnivore is just how much of the health issues that need healed out there with people.
Right. I'm with you. It's so sad too, because I'm like you. It's like I was there a couple months ago. I mean, I've been on carnivore 130 days now. So half a year ago I was there, but I was at Costco the other day with my daughter, Katie. And I was like, this isn't shaming anyone. Everyone's supposed to say shaming it, but it's not. I'm like, let's just look around and count, not just people that are overweight, but people that just look like they're arthritic or they're kind of hunched over or they just kind of look lifeless and fatigued and brain fogged. And we're like, let's just do an honest little science experiment and see. It was like something like 95% of the people. We counted, like it was like 200 people or something. We were just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It was just nuts. But the thing is, you look around now, and that's happened slowly over the years, and people just think it's normal because you see it. It's kind of like with me, my daughter. I had a YouTube video up a while ago, and it had my old. Actually, here I got a bunch of my pictures here. I don't normally have a picture of me on my desk, but this was me at 260.
Oh, nice.
And my daughter saw this picture on one of my YouTube thumbnails, and she's like, geez, Dad, I don't remember you being that fat. Oh my God, you were so fat. And I'm like, it's because of the same reason that we go to the grocery store now and it's normal that everyone's overweight because it's just slowly happened. And I kind of slowly lost the weight and gained it back and lost it and gained it back. So my daughters, they don't really even notice it too much, although they notice it now because I don't ever shut up about carnivore. But that's one of the things I'm really hoping to do with the carnivore documentary is just get this point out here. Like, this is not normal. That everyone out there and almost everyone that's going to watch the documentary, I'm sure of it, will be like, I've got that. IBS, stomach issues, inflammation, my back is always hurting, headaches, brain fog, trouble finding my words. Every time I tell people, I've had so many people come up to me in the theater like, oh, you look great. You lost so much weight. I'm like, yeah, that's great. But all those things I just listed are gone. IBS, arthritis, they're all gone. And everybody says the same thing. I got a lot of those things that you have. And I'm like, I'm sure you do. But
yeah, they probably have way more of those things than they actually have pounds that they need to get rid of. The weight is really just like 5% of it.
Right.
I mean, it makes you feel better about yourself that you're not giant anymore, but and you don't struggle as much. Like you don't cut your windpipe off when you're tying your shoes and things like that. And you can climb a flight of stairs with without much trouble. That stuff's great, but the non-scale benefits is just absolutely astounding. Another one that I had was plantar fasciitis. So like I said, I started for vitiligo, and I had this crippling plantar fasciitis pain. And it was to the point where I couldn't stand for 30 minutes. I'd have to sit down, and I'd have to sit down for hours and hours to try to get the pain to kind of go away, and it still wouldn't go away. I'd have to wear a boot at night to stretch my tendons in my heel. And I bought, these special shoes. They're like $200 a pair.
Mm-hmm.
And that just went on for months and months and months and months. And literally after the third day of going carnivore, that pain started to go away. And within a week, it was completely gone, and it has not come back. No pain, zero. It's insane. So that was another huge benefit as well.
Was that one afterwards? You're like, oh, I didn't even realize this was like, because I've had a bunch of those. Like, oh, that's right, I had that too. Those shoes you mentioned, were those like hookah shoes?
Kuru.
Okay.
Kuru. Yeah.
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 They were
Hoka and Kuru is
Hoka. That was what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, with my foot issues, I almost had those shoes, and I had the plantar fasciitis for a while too. Now that I think about it, haven't on carnivore, but yeah, it's like weird.
That one was an immediate. Like, I knew that whatever I was eating or whatever I was doing at that point fixed that. I knew that right away. But another one that I had was adult acne. I've had adult acne, ever since I was a teenager, and always have struggled with that, on my back and my face. And that gradually went away to the point where it's like, man, this stuff is gone. Like,
it's amazing.
I didn't even really notice it. It's like, it's just the improvements just keep coming and keep coming and keep coming with time. It's just,
do you know how long
almost seems impossible?
Right. I know. I always feel like I got to do a disclaimer. Like, I'm not trying to hype this up, but everything you're saying is true. Everything I've been saying is true. It's just for the acne. Do you know how long that took roughly before most of it was gone?
Probably 3 to 4 months, and only because I found out that, like you've stated, I do the same thing with people. Cheese. I found out that cheese was kind of a major source of the acne stuff going on.
Okay.
And I have no idea why, but I don't know the science behind it, but as soon as I cut that out, it definitely got noticeably better for sure. And any little weight stalls and things like that I had going on, completely gone.
Right. That's got to be my new advice. If anybody says do carnivore, I'm going to be just don't do cheese. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. Hey, anyone in the comments, please leave a comment if you do cheese and you're just continually losing weight and not having any issues, because I'd love to hear that side of it. But I've only heard the other side of it so far, where for me it stalled me out, and for Adam's acne and stalling him out too. I'd be interested if anyone is. And if you have any other questions, I forgot to mention it earlier, but if you have any questions for me or Adam, please leave a big Q in the side. But yeah, Adam, it's amazing. I would have never known you have acne, and you got a nice tan going. You got that carnivore glow. Just like everyone that does carnivore, you could just see it in their face. I said it before, it's kind of a weird thing, but I'm like, where did I see this before? And it was like when my wife gave birth. Like after a woman gives birth, their face is like, it like brights up. It glows. That's what everyone says. It glows. Yep. I don't know if that's the hormones or what. Maybe it is the hormones, because that's the other thing I've learned on carnivore is you finally get that cholesterol that's been demonized so long. It balances your hormones, and they think that's a lot of the reasons why people's depression and their sleep and all those things start improving. So maybe the hormones are making us get that carnivore glow. I don't know the science behind it myself, but
for sure. Yeah. Anxiety too. That was another one. So I'm a professional photographer, and the reason that I'm behind the camera is to put other people on the camera because I don't want to be on it. Right. And I would have been just like you. I would have been absolutely mortified if somebody wanted to get on a Zoom call or a FaceTime or anything like that. And eating this way has completely eliminated my anxiety, and to the point where I'm like, I'm starting a YouTube channel. And since I can't walk up to somebody in the grocery and say, hey, eat carnivore, it'll help you. I'm going to
Yes.
shout it from the rooftops on YouTube, and, hopefully somebody can gain benefit from it.
See, and what you just said just sounds like a little thing, but it's completely life-changing if you really think about it. Because I know, Adam, before doing carnivore with that anxiety, you would never have done YouTube. And likewise for me, I was already doing YouTube. I was okay being on camera because I'd done it for so many years. But talking to Dr. Chafee, Dr. Barry, never. Talking to you right now wouldn't have happened. I would have just been like, no, I can't do that. And think of how many doors this is going to open up for you now. So now you got the YouTube channel, and then that's going to grow, and more people are going to start to see it, and you're going to start inspiring other people. And it's like life is so much better when you make those human connections with more and more people. I'm making so many friends. It's just great talking to all these different people. And I say it all the time, but it's true. The carnivore community is amazing. And I think I was trying to get to the bottom of it before. I said, maybe it's because in order to be carnivore, you really do have to be a brave person, because you're going against everything you've ever been told in order to do carnivore. And so maybe the people that are brave, we just like people that are brave. I mean, everyone likes going to movies and seeing like a brave superhero or something, but maybe whatever it takes for someone to be brave to do that is some quality that just makes them a cool, chill person. Or it's that plus the carnivore and the hormones, and everyone's just more chill and relaxed. What about that? Like, what about your mood? Because that's something a couple people have said to me is, I interviewed this gentleman. I can't wait to launch this one. He's 78, thriving on carnivore. Such a cool guy. But he was saying his girlfriend, he's 78, he's got a girlfriend. It's going to be a fun video. He's a really cool guy. But his girlfriend was saying, before you were doing carnivore, you used to have these like temper tantrums, basically. Like if you dropped your phone or something, you'd throw a fit and you just get so angry. And she's like, that's completely gone on carnivore. She's like, you're so much more relaxed, so much more calm on carnivore. I've noticed that for myself too. Have you noticed anything like that for yourself?
I have. I still have some improvement to be made in that area for sure. But yeah, definitely see a difference on the highway for sure. Before it was, oh my gosh, this guy, you can just imagine getting upset at other drivers just doing the dumbest things. But now, most times, I'd say probably 90% of the time, I'm like, go ahead.
Yep.
I'll get over here in the slow lane and put it on cruise, and I'm good to go. So yeah, definitely, I'm definitely seeing improvements over time with that. Eventually, maybe I'll get to Mother Teresa status or something like that.
Right.
But I'm not quite there yet. But yeah, a big difference so far.
That's cool. So what was it like the first couple days and weeks on carnivore? Like how did the first week, I should say, did you adjust okay? And like, what were you eating, and any roadblocks along the way?
When I first started, I did the BBB&E, the beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. And I didn't have an issue eating that stuff as far as taste and, variety and whatnot. It didn't matter to me. I just wanted to get rid of my condition and see what happened. But initially, when I first started eating, my body seems to transition slower than some people might. So the increased fat intake was definitely my stomach was having an issue with it. I would have an upset stomach, and I would end up taking Tums and stuff like that to try to quell that down until I figured out, maybe I should back off of the fat a little bit and let things adjust a little bit more naturally, up to protein just a little bit. And that definitely seemed to help. Gradually over about 4 to 6 weeks, I think it took for that transition to actually happen. And the electrolytes was another thing. I didn't do the electrolytes to start with. And I did get kind of like the keto flu, which is crazy because 6 years prior, I hadn't been sick at all for nothing. And now all of a sudden, I'm eating a healthy diet and I felt sick, but I wasn't actually sick. It was just the lack of electrolytes and my body just being really stressed out at that point. But I wasn't drinking as much water as I should. I naturally have kind of like an aversion to drinking in general. So I always maintain like a sort of semi-dehydrated state, I guess you could say. But once I started to recognize, I need to get a little bit of electrolytes in me. I need to start drinking a lot more water. Things started to really, really improve. I mean, it took off like rocket fuel at that point. And now I know just drink a bunch of water. I don't even really have to take that much electrolytes. I just kind of eat salt now and drink a lot of water. And my fat to protein ratio, I don't worry about that. My body naturally will tell me if I need more fat or if I need more protein. Obviously, if things are going wrong in the restroom, that'll tell you if you're having too much fat as well. So, but yeah, everything it's kind of rocky to start. And I guess I would say that if somebody just jumps right in, maybe start slow if you can. Go keto maybe first, but don't have the keto products. Just kind of have, some of the whole foods on the keto when it comes to the carbs with that, and slowly transition, and just know that your body may take a little bit longer to start metabolizing the fat and breaking that fat down, that maybe you need to back it down just a little bit until your body transitions, and then you can gradually increase it.
That's great advice. Yeah, a lot of people have been asking about my wife Jen, and she made that mistake. And maybe she's watching this now, so I should be careful what I say. But I told her, I was like, you should just ease into this. My daughter Emma jumped right in from vegan to carnivore, and she did fine. But I really wouldn't recommend that, and I didn't recommend that for Jen. She jumped right in, and she was struggling. So now she's going back. She's been doing ketovore for a day or two now. Try to get her stomach back in order. She was really suffering for many, many days. She was sticking it out pretty good, but her stomach was just killing her. It was a big, huge change. I think probably because she was eating that way a lot longer than Emma was. But yeah, that's really good advice. And like Adam said too, steer clear of those keto products. Oh my goodness, those messed me up so bad over the years. You'd be in Costco and you'd be like, oh, this looks good. And then you'd read the labels. Oh, this is like 2 carbs. I can have this. Great.
Right.
Some ice cream or some tortillas. And you go down that road, it's hard to turn back. And then you just slowly and gradually, inflammation comes back and all sorts of issues. It's it's a tough thing. What about your like friends and family? How are they handling carnivore, and have any of them adopted it themselves? Or
one of my sons has expressed interest to start doing the carnivore. He's been actually, kind of maybe doing 75% carnivore. But he's shown interest that he wants to take it a little bit further. He does work on the giant windmills that you might see, out in California and the desert and all sorts of places up by around Chicago. So he has to climb like hundreds of feet up in those towers. So for him to
sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead. Yep.
How old is your son?
25.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking? I thought you were I thought when you said son, you were going to be like my 7-year-old son or something. It's the
Nope.
Carnivore anti-aging.
Right. Yeah. I'll be 47 in September.
Wow, man, you look great.
Thanks.
That's Dr. Barry said that. Sorry, Dr. Barry said that the other day when I showed him. I got to keep showing everybody my friend Alex, but I showed him Alex. For those who haven't seen it, this is my friend Alex, and he's 65. It's just
That's
unbelievable. Incredible. I said to Dr. Barry, carnivore's anti-aging. And he was like, no, with his little finger up like all of his thumbnails. No. He's like, this is what a natural 65-year-old should look like when they're eating the natural human diet, proper human diet and natural food. That's what all 65-year-olds would probably look like. So sorry, sure. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you look great. I thought when you said son, I was thinking you were going to say like 7 or 8-year-old.
Nope.
So he's going on, he's mostly on carnivore, and that's pretty cool.
Yep. And then I convinced, well, I don't know if I should say convinced, but my 2 cats are now carnivore. I didn't really have to convince them. They already were, but now they're not eating the dry stuff in a bag. They're actually eating raw meat now, and that's their only diet. And we've seen noticeable improvements in the cats too. Especially Ella, her weight has stabilized, because she was a little bit overweight, maybe a few pounds, and now she's like super lean. She usually was just sleeping all the time, and now she's meowing a lot and just really active, and you can tell her she's just a lot more happy. And the other one, Bruno, he's just crazy. So this kind of supercharged his energy levels.
Right.
But yeah, I didn't have to convince them, but yeah, they're both carnivore also.
Jen and I are doing that with our dogs. We got to get it done. I keep doing research and then putting it off, but Dr. Chafee told me about this one study where basically carnivore dogs used to live 10 years longer than dogs do today. And it makes sense because we're giving them all that horrible dry food, and it's not what it's just kind of like humans. He was basically saying like humans and pets of humans are the only species of animals that end up basically deforming their body. You have your big gut sticking out. It's basically you're deformed. We don't see that in the wild at all because all other animals just eat what they're intended to eat. But yeah, I got to do that with my dogs. My dogs have been eating a lot more meat lately, but got to get it. I got to figure it out. It's a tricky thing. Some people do like the raw food, and then it's like you got to make it all up on one day. And then some other people are like, no, I get my stuff from this company and they ship it to me in a box. So got to get to the bottom of that. But
yeah, we make all of ours in one day, usually for like a 15-day stretch or a 30-day stretch. It's not real hard. You just kind of mix in a little bit of water and the raw meat, and then there's a nutritive supplement that goes in it as well. And then you just ounce it out into jars and put it in the freezer. It's pretty simple.
So what, well, I already asked you, what kind of advice would you give for someone starting out slow? Did you have any, and then we'll jump to some questions. Wow, we're already at 40 minutes. This is flying by. Awesome. If anyone has any questions for me or Adam, please leave them in the sidebar. Did you have any big roadblocks doing carnivore? So you said you've been going like 160, 170 days. Did you have anything like if you could go back to day one and just whisper something back to yourself, like don't do this or do this, or is there any advice you'd give yourself, or I guess someone else that's just starting today?
It's a good question. I would probably say start slower if you can. And the reason that I say that is so you don't have issues in the restroom. Some people experience that. That could be an issue, if you're a windmill repair technician. You can't be up 200 feet in the air and have an emergency. So, think about that before you start. Transition slowly. If you were eating a lot of high oxalate foods like I was prior to this, I would put piles and piles of spinach into a Vitamix blender and blend it up with a bunch of other stuff and drink it like this was a healthy thing. And I didn't realize at the time that I was just loading my body with oxalates. So the abrupt change caused me to have oxalate dumping, and I had rashes that kept breaking out everywhere, all over my skin, until I finally figured out Sally Norton's book that speaks about oxalates in foods and what was happening with me. I added some more black pepper into my diet to slow the oxalate dumping. So I don't think that would be as prevalent if you slow down and transition maybe over 4 weeks or 8 weeks or something like that, rather than just jumping right in. But I've never been known for my IQ level, so I jumped right in, and that was probably not a good thing in my opinion. So that'd probably be my number one thing for somebody that's starting. And second would be throw away all the food in your house that that is junk. Processed foods, sugars, alcohol, anything that you think that may cause you to trip up or cause you to have temptation, give it up. Do like Amanda from Carnivorous Me says, and she says that give yourself permission to have a piece of cake, give yourself permission to have a donut, whatever it is that is your temptation, but you have to walk to the store to get it. So I definitely think that's really, really great advice. So you're not cutting yourself off mentally, and psychologically, you can still have it, but just walk to go get it. And chances are you're probably not going to do that. But so yeah, go slow. That's the biggest thing for me.
Good stuff. Let's see here. So Adam is Carnivore Today. Could you talk real quick about YouTube? Like, so I got your channel here listed on the bottom. What's the plans going forward? What's kind of the idea behind the channel for people that haven't seen it yet?
Right now, the plans for the channel is to not so much highlight me and my journey. There's plenty of others that do that, and I definitely don't want to highlight things like Dr. Berry, Dr. Chafee, Dr. Kiltz. You know, these guys are experts in their field. They're medical doctors. There's no possible way that I could ever come close to what they do. So what I want to do is connect with, you know, the common person, put their stories on there, you know, different stories within the carnivore lifestyle. If the World Health Organization issues a report, or a celebrity starts carnivore, you know, just more kind of like news based, if you will. We're still trying to find our footing and learn the YouTube ropes, and you know, I'm trying to get more comfortable on camera and what that actually looks like. I know some of my first videos are not going to be my best, but I'm going to continually improve. I'm getting new gear all the time to try to make things better, you know, add B-roll footage and things that are really going to help people. And if anybody wants to comment and, you know, kind of let me know what you want to see, we're definitely going to do that. And because, you know, we're here for you and helping you out. And I'm not here for myself or try to make myself popular or anything like that. So I definitely have a heart for people that are having issues and struggles with their health and are looking for an alternative and a better way to fix themselves.
That's awesome. Yeah, you absolutely do. And for anyone that's jumping on, we got 382 people here. That's awesome. Oh, wow. Adam is exactly what his shirt says, compassionate carnivore. He's a great person. He's been volunteering his time to help me out on the Carnivore Diet documentary. And I just really appreciate the big heart you have, Adam, because you're like me. Like you go to, like you were saying earlier, you're at the store, you see family and friends, and you're like, you're sad for them. You have the empathy. Mm-hmm. You're like, it doesn't have to be that way. And it's like you said, you can't, even my family and friends, that's the hardest one, because you're close to them and you want to help them. And you could just share your example and hope they'll take it. But it's really hard. If someone wants to do carnivore, they have to make their own decision. But you're doing something to help them with your YouTube channel and put those examples out there. And that's really cool. I appreciate what you're doing. I really appreciate all the help you've been given on the Carnivore Diet documentary. It's making a huge difference for sure. I don't say that lightly, because just going on and on by myself has been tough. And I don't know if you saw this, Adam. I put a thing up this morning. I'm trying to expand it even more. You've been helping me amazingly. I'm trying to expand it more. So I just, if anyone's new here and they don't know, they can go to www.carnivoredietmovie.com. But first go to Adam's YouTube channel on the bottom of the page, subscribe, go check out his videos because it's awesome. You guys can kind of see.
And go to the Diet Movie website, and if you got a couple dollars, don't donate for that, because the vision that Carrie has for this documentary is incredible. This is going to be one of the best things that any streaming service has ever seen. If hopefully we're able to get it on there, which I believe that we're going to be able to get it on there for sure. I mean, this thing's going to be next level for sure.
Well, thank you for saying that. I agree. And not because of me or you, but because of the whole team and everything. It's just been crazy. So many people have been contributing and giving me ideas, but I'm so excited for it now. I'm just going to put this on the bottom now. So Carnivore Diet Movie, if you want to participate, and we want to follow people for 1 year doing the carnivore diet. And it's not just obesity, it's depression, anxiety, type 2 diabetes. I have it all on the board here behind me, aging, women's health. And so one of the things I did today, if you want to participate, you can register on the site. It's free. And if you want to do carnivore diet, and hopefully we can maybe share your story on the documentary. That's the idea. The idea is to show real examples over the course of 1 year, not say, hey, you should do carnivore diet, but hey, look, here's Bill. 700 pounds from Alaska. He's doing carnivore diet. Let's see what happens for him over a year. And maybe that'll inspire other people to check into it and do more. And if nothing else, like we were saying earlier, the grocery store thing, when you go around and look at the grocery store and everybody's sick, I want to make it perfectly clear in the documentary. So anyone watching it, they can be like, wow, that is kind of crazy when you go to the grocery store. And like everyone I know right now is sick or has some sort of condition or ailment or issue or inflammation. That is not normal, and it's completely preventable. And in just a couple days, eating the proper human diet, it'll go away. It did for Adam. It did for the guy upstairs. It did for Alex, and it's hopefully going to happen for Bill here pretty soon too. So anyway, any super chats that you guys give us, go right to the Carnivore documentary, and you can donate too. There's a GoFundMe link on Carnivore Diet Movie, and I really appreciate all the funds. We purchased a Netflix approved camera not too long ago. Camera is awesome. I'm starting to shoot with it. And now when we had Dr. Barry on the channel, and by the way, Dr. Barry is going to be involved with the documentary, which is just huge news.
That's incredible.
Dr. Chafee enthusiastically said yes. Dr. Baker enthusiastically said yes. Dr. Barry, and now this next week is nuts because I have Dr. Tony Hampton on. I have Dr. Kiltz on. I can't even remember. Sean O'Mara just contacted me. So the plan is each of these are going to be distinct sections in the documentary. So we're going to cover obesity and a couple examples of people with obesity, and then we're going to have a doctor with each one of those. So I'm sorry, I'm rambling now, but I put out an email this morning. If anybody's watching and they want to volunteer and they want to help put this documentary together, I'm trying to gather and do like a committee, a Carnivore Diet Movie committee, and then people will be assigned to each of those. So if you had type 2 diabetes and you had success with carnivore and you're interested in volunteering for the documentary, please do that. If you go to my YouTube page, it's on the community tab. I should get a link for that too. But there's a little form you can fill out, and then I'm hoping to do maybe like a meeting once a week or every 2 weeks where we gather. And if you're part of this, if you're part of type 2 diabetes, what will your job be? Well, it'll be to look at all of the entries from other people that have type 2 diabetes. It'll also be to help gather stats and like what doctor's going to be best and some sound bites and things like that. And so you're like the owner of that. So it's almost like a little mini movie within the movie, but by having imagine just this carnivore, a team of carnivores working on this at each little section. I think it's going to make it so much more better, leveraging everybody like that. So anyways, that's the idea behind it. If anyone wants to be a volunteer, please go to my YouTube page. You just click on the community tab and there's a little link on there so you can follow it. But she'll probably jump into some questions. Real quick update on my friend Bill. This is just nuts.
Bill.
So Adam, did you see like what happened with this?
Oh man,
GoFundMe.
I was tearing up watching his video. I mean, it's just pulls at your heartstrings with what he's gone through. I can't even imagine. So I'm so glad that he reached out to you and you were actually able to see that comment with the thousands and thousands of comments that you have, and start this journey with him. I mean, this is going to be incredible. It's going to be so inspiring.
Yeah.
Like you said, not to put any pressure, on anybody, but
right.
Yeah, this is going to be an amazing moment when he's able to step out that door. And I know I definitely want to be there for sure to help support him.
Speaking of being there, well, we're going to see what happens, but I might be going there pretty soon. We're going to see.
Oh, nice.
Breaking news, but it's like,
Sweet.
I have the camera, I have the lighting now, thanks to everybody donating for the Dr. Barry video. Traveling is obviously going to be the next big expense to travel to all these different locations. But man, getting Bill's story initially, he just purchased 2 scales on Amazon. He's too large. He's too heavy for one scale. And I want to get there and start filming, and because he's going to be a part of the documentary. He's enthusiastic. I said no pressure. He's like, no, I really want to be a part of it. So getting some of those initial shots and meeting him. So nothing definite yet, but that's
awesome.
Very likely going to happen soon.
For sure.
Yeah, and be able to see him on his first days of carnivore, and then go back there when he's finishing up. It's going to be something. So anyone that doesn't know, the video's on my YouTube channel. But Bill is he just started a YouTube channel, and long story short, he's 700 pounds. He hasn't left his house in 4 years. He sent me a comment. And he said, I want to start carnivore. I want to do a YouTube video, but I live in Alaska. Meat is so expensive in Alaska. I don't have any money. He's on disability or something like that. And so I said, do those things. I was like, if you do a YouTube channel, I will help you. And I finally got a hold of him. He did his first YouTube video like 2 days ago. He set up a GoFundMe so that he could afford to buy meat to get him through. We were just hoping like maybe we can get you a month's worth of meat. And we're like, what would that cost? So on the GoFundMe, we were thinking $12.50. And so I was like, just double that on the GoFundMe goal. So his GoFundMe goal was $2,500. Actually, I have it open here. I'm going to just share this real quick, and then we'll take some questions. This is just insane to me. It was $2,500, and now look where it's at. This is like 5 days later, almost at $13,000.
Oh,
Talk
wow.
about compassionate carnivores. This man has enough meat for a couple of years now.
That's awesome.
It's just insane.
That's amazing.
I'm so happy for him because I'm like, I said in the first video, I was like, well, this is your excuse. You can't start carnivore because of the meat. And it sounded kind of like a mean statement. But then I said, it's a valid excuse. Meat's expensive and you're on a limited income. But on the flip side, it's like, you could also stop buying all the junk food, which
right.
And then get it. However, he had a good kind of comeback for that too. True, he needed to take this big step, but he's getting a lot of his junk food on Amazon, just delivering it right to his house. So I guess lots of convenience with Amazon, and then in this case, a big problem. But he's getting cheaper food from Amazon delivered to him. If he went to the grocery store, it's incredibly expensive. Everything there's just incredibly expensive. But anyhow, so he did his first YouTube video too. Last thing I want to say about Bill that's just awesome and made me so happy. You know this, YouTube is hard. And to get monetized on YouTube, you have to have 1,000 subscribers, and then they have to watch, I think it's 4,000 hours of your footage before YouTube will monetize you. And that was my big goal with Bill. Is I'm like, it's going to take a couple months, buddy, but I'm going to do everything I can to get you to 1,000 subscribers. And so he did his first video. I did my video, and I said, everybody go to his channel, subscribe, do everything you can. I knew he'd get a bump, but what happened was just unbelievable. So he went from 40 subscribers to, I should look right now, I'm probably going to mess this number up, but he was near 4,000.
Whoa.
4,000.
Awesome.
And then I'm like, Bill, this was a 40-minute video. You're going to get a lot of watch time on this. Plus he's a good storyteller. So I think a lot of people stayed and watched most of that video. And that adds up to all those hours, the 4,000 hours he has to get. So I said, Bill, I mean, it could be a couple of weeks and you're going to get that. I said, Bill, you have to understand this. It takes most people months, if not a year, to do that, to get 4,000 subscribers or 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. Anyhow, he emailed me this morning and he was like, Kira, you got to help me with these analytics. But he was just probably at this moment, he's hit 4,000 hours.
Wow.
He was right there. It was like 3,950 or something when he showed it to me. My mind was blown. So
that's incredible.
In just a couple days. Now it's so amazing.
I'm looking at my YouTube studio and it's like, couple years, I'll get there. It's just so really hard.
It's so hard. I've been going for 8 years, and I'm just trying to think how long it took me to get monetized. I really do think it was over a year. I guess maybe I could look back at my analytics to make sure. Every now and then, though, you're going to do a video, and it's just going to take off, and that's what's going to get you there. It'll get frustrating. Don't think about it, Adam, like, oh, just every time I do a video, I get X and X, and then try to calculate out, and I got to do 500, because there's going to be a couple videos in there that you do. You're going to do one like about Joe Rogan or something, and he's going to be in the news. It's just going to whoosh, and that's going to just take you right there. It happens for everybody. That's what happened to me. And then over the years, it's happened a couple times where it's always a video you hate too. That's what's annoying because you're going to work so hard on one video. Right. I know you will too. You're a perfectionist. You're going to be like perfect, the B-roll, all the angles, everything. You're like, this is going to be the one. And then it's just going to be like, whatever, normal. Right. And then all of a sudden you're going to be like, I'll just throw this one up. That was my video. I did one on how to reuse your firewood ash. It was just a horrible video. It had some good points in it, but the filming, the sound, I cringe every time I watch it. And that was the one YouTube picked, and it has like 4 million views now. It's just crazy. It just took off and just kept going forever. But anyhow, I'm sorry, I'm rambling again. What I wanted to say about Bill that's so amazing with that is the 12,000 is nuts. Obviously, that's great. That's going to hold him over for a long time. But that aside, this man can now support himself, even if it's just a little bit of money. Every time he's doing a YouTube video now, he's going to be bringing in income for himself and supporting himself. And that is an amazing thing. Having that, I kept saying it in the earlier video, but having purpose in life is so important. and Bill's living alone in a house for 4 years by himself. I told him, you have a huge purpose. Now it's doing YouTube, inspiring people. You make some money that way and can earn you some money. But I really think that this guy's story is going to inspire millions of people. If not on my YouTube channel, his and your YouTube channel, on Amazon or Netflix or HBO or wherever we end up getting the documentary, it's
For sure.
he's already inspiring people. So anyhow, I'm sorry I'm rambling now, but I get excited about Bill. I may very well be traveling out there soon. I'm going to try to make a decision on Tuesday and see. I'm trying to be the thing with Bill, just everyone, please be respectful of Bill. He's awesome. But I keep telling people, you just got to understand, he's so excited. But this man for 4 years was going 0 miles an hour, and now he's going 100 miles an hour. This is a lot to take in. So I'm like, he was the other day, he's like, Carrie, I can't keep up with all these comments. There's like 1,000 comments. What do I do? I was like, Bill, just relax. Turn the computer off. People are not going to get mad at you if you don't put a little heart next to their thing. They would much rather see you succeed on carnivore and focus on your diet and maybe focus on doing another video instead of spending like 4 hours putting little hearts next to them. So,
that's good advice for sure. And if there's anybody here that hasn't actually seen his first video, go watch it, because the part where he talks about his cat Daisy is pretty hilarious. I like that.
That's the other thing that's so cool about Bill too, is in his video, there's times where he's got a great sense of humor, and there's times in the video where he's laughing and then all of a sudden you're crying a couple of minutes later. But yeah, I told him, I was like, you got to get Daisy like her own Instagram, or him. Daisy's a him, actually. He told that story too. You got to get Daisy its own Instagram story or something.
Right.
Sorry, I'm just clicking. I'm going to share his link here real quick. This is Bill's video in the comments on the side there. So if anyone hasn't seen it, if this whole story is new to you, it's an amazing story, and you got to go check out Bill's channel. He's got the GoFundMe there. But if you could just subscribe and give him a comment of encouragement, everyone already has. That's what I asked for initially, and it was above and beyond anything I ever could have imagined. I think his video too. Here, let me just share this real quick, and then we'll jump into some questions when I stop talking so much here. Oh, what did I say, Adam? I said 4,000 subscribers. So here, let me share this real quick. Present, share screen, carnivore. This is amazing. That was like 2 days ago. He's at almost 6,000 subscribers. By the end of the day,
wow,
he'll be at 6,000 subscribers. The last time I checked, it was a little over 1,000 comments, 2,000 comments, 4,500 upvotes. This was just 2 days. In 2 days, he went from 40 subscribers to 6,000. And I'm not saying I helped promote it and get it kickstarted, but everybody's been sharing this. So thank you so much. That's what's doing it. And so if you want to help Bill, of course, watch his whole video, like, comment, but share it. Oh my goodness, that helps so much on YouTube. And share Adam's videos as well. YouTube looks at that, outside referrers, sharing stuff, and they're going to rank you higher. 26,000 views this video has. Just amazing.
Yeah, we're going to be doing something called the Keto Cookout live once a week. We haven't really figured out what days we're actually going to do it. Maybe like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We don't want to conflict with, Dr. Chafee or Dr. Barry or any of those guys. Just something that's a little bit more lighthearted, off the cuff, a little bit more fun, not so much the science, if you will, just kind of a place to hang out. We'll read regular comments as well as, questions that anybody has and stuff like that. So we just want to make it, there's a lot of Q&As out there, and those are really great and really serve a great purpose. But if you just want to come hang out and have some fun, we'll be doing it once a week. Me, Homesick Buckeye, Alia Wells, and Damon Holly, which Carrie Damon actually has a YouTube channel now. I don't know if he.
Oh, nice.
It's Carnivore Damon.
I have to check it out.
Yep.
Yeah, he's awesome. He was on the channel. Alia is the greatest. She's such a nice person.
Yeah.
I've told people this before, but go check out all their channels. Alia was so nice. She spent a bunch of time with my daughter, Lily, answering a bunch of her questions because they had some similar health issues. So, yeah, they're the best. That sounds like a lot of fun. Awesome. So we've got a couple of super chats. Janet H, $20. Thank you so much. Again, every penny, Carnivore Diet movie. This is like, these are coming in, and I'm like, okay, now I just get a couple more of these, and now I can go travel out, because I got to go get Bill's footage. We have money saved up from it, but it's like it's going to empty everything out again. That's why I'm like really thinking about it. But it's such an important thing. Adam, I didn't tell you this either. Sorry, I'm going to keep blabbering. But last thing on the Carnivore documentary, there's another documentary filmmaker. He's actually done feature films. His name is Rock Salt. That's his name. Cool name.
Nice.
He's the greatest. I'm meeting with him on Tuesday for the second time. He just sent me a feature film that he made himself. It's so cool. He's doing another feature later in the year, and he's like making legitimate features that are on streaming services and a bunch of documentaries. But he was telling me, Carrie, you know what? One thing you should really do, and this was like some of the best advice. He's like, you should put together a little pre-trailer and lookbook for the documentary. Because I've already interviewed so many people. I have Dr. Chafee, Dr. Barry, and Dr. Baker on camera saying they're going to be involved in the documentary. I have amazing little like sound bites from Sean, lost 250 pounds in 1 year. I have all this stuff. So he's like, put that together, a little trailer. I already have the hook. I kind of shared some of that with you the first couple of minutes. Put that together, and then you can send that out to Netflix and some of the streaming services. And he's like, it's not uncommon. Some will do that, and they might bite. It's like it's like fishing. You put the hook out there, and they might bite, and then they might say, yeah, we want to be involved with this. We'll license it. Like, here's the deal. And then they'll start helping with some of the funding earlier, and you come up with a whole agreement with them.
That's a really great idea.
Yeah, it's something I never thought of, but this guy's done so many movies, so that was really good advice. His other advice, too, and the reason I love it is because even if one of these places doesn't pick it up, if they don't want to pick it up early, it's still great to have that video because I could put it on and use it for the fundraising. I could put it on my GoFundMe page, and I could share it with people. Like, this is what we're thinking of doing, and it's not a trailer, but the pre-trailer kind of thing. So,
yeah, that definitely needs to happen for sure. If you need any help, let me know.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll be sharing more on that soon.
Cool.
Janet H., thank you so much for the super chat. Working during the 8-1 Dr. Chafee talk. So, yeah, on Tuesday morning, 9 Central, it's 9 or 9:30 Central, Dr. Chafee's on my channel. Again, this is our third one together where it's challenging Dr. Chafee. And it's basically, hey, I'm scared to start carnivore diet because of X. I'm scared to start carnivore diet because it's going to clog my arteries. I'm scared to start carnivore diet because of fiber or whatever. Meat's too expensive. We throw those at Dr. Chafee, and then he comes back and he hits everyone out of the park. It's just great because so many people are scared to start carnivore, and it's usually unfounded fears because they don't have the truth or the facts of the matter. That's the purpose of this. If anyone has any of those, like, hey, I was going to start carnivore, but I didn't because of this, please share them with me before Tuesday, and I will post them up there. So Janet has some concerns. Digestion issue concern. I can't stop. We were just talking about this with Adam. I can't stop to run to the bathroom easily with my work. And then 2, I'm 70 pounds overweight. I've heard women 50 plus with metabolic issues can gain weight. The bathroom issues, I'll take a stab at this and I'll see if Adam has any ideas. The bathroom issues, the best advice I had from Dr. Chafee is, well, the first week can be really tough. It's some people, they can't get around it. But if you start slow, like Adam was saying earlier, then maybe you can get through that. I didn't have the bathroom issues the first week. Janet, if you're having those issues ongoing after your first week, the best way to regulate it is your fat intake. And it's so true. Dr. Chafee was telling me about this before because I switched from carnivore to lion diet. And I had a couple days where I was having regular bowel movements and it just stopped for, I think it was like 5 or 6 days. But I didn't have any discomfort. And in my head, I was expecting that to happen because it's like less waste in, less waste out. Dr. Chafee's like, it's just fat. It's so simple. If you're not in the bathroom enough, get more fat, you'll be in the bathroom more. If you're in the bathroom too much, you're getting too much fat and cut back on it a little bit. Yep. So that would be my advice, Janet. If you've been doing carnivore for a while and you're still running to the bathroom way too much, check on your fat intake. Maybe you're getting a little bit too much. And then the 70 pounds overweight. I've heard women with 50 plus with metabolic issues can gain weight. Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't know. I know if anyone else in the comment has a better answer, this is a hard one for me to answer. I'll see if I can shoot this to Dr. Chafee too when we're talking. So if we get that there, I'll let you know. But I know that it's everybody's different, and then men and women are very different. So like it may be a lot easier for me to lose weight on carnivore versus a woman, and depending on your age and everything like that. If I can't stop to run about these names. So you've said you've heard women 50 plus can have issues and gain weight. I don't know if I've heard that necessarily. I've heard some people struggle more or have more issues. Cheese always seems to be the one where they stall out, but the gaining the weight thing, I don't know if I've heard that. I don't know. What about you, Adam? Have you heard anything about that?
Not necessarily. This is one of the reasons why I think that it's important for us to have the female perspective in the Carnivore Diet documentary. Yes. This is a very underserved area, in my opinion, and it's very important because literally half of the population of the earth is female. But I would say that, obviously not medical advice, but this diet aims to fix metabolic issues, metabolic health. So if maybe there is an initial bump in gain in weight, over time, it will probably likely correct itself.
That's great. Yes. Yeah, and absolutely on the documentary. And one other thing too, I was going to say is, so Dr. Kiltz is going to be on the channel, and he's like the women's health expert. And there's some other ones too I'm hoping to have. He's going to be on the channel and hopefully on the documentary, which would be wonderful. But he does a live chat. I always encourage people too, if you have these very specific questions, Dr. Kiltz would be a good one to shoot this live chat to. Dr. Chafee's doing a live chat every single week now, and Dr. Barry does too. So live Q&A, I should say. So for stuff specific like that, you might want to check. But I'll ask Dr. Chafee and see if he has any ideas on that. So that was from Janet. And then we got another one from Janet. Thank you so much. In the doc movie, I hope you cover a little bit about the potential problems people can have when starting. Discuss remedies, tips, tricks, so people aren't caught by surprise and end up stopping before they give it a chance. Yes. This is going to be a tricky balancing act with the documentaries. There's so many things like you just said that people tell me, and I'm like, you're right. That's got to be in there. That's got to be in there. On the flip side, it's got to be engaging, because if people watch it, it doesn't go too long. So, but absolutely, this is an important one that we want to be in there. I always say that to people on my channel too. People get gung-ho and excited. They're like, I'm going to go buy steak and do it now. And I always say, don't do that. Stop right now. Do your research and make sure you know your why and make sure you know your how. Are you comfortable starting carnivore diet? Do you know about electrolytes and how much fat you should get? All this information is free and it's out there, and you should not start until you do that. So I definitely want to have that message in the documentary for sure. So thank you for that. David Delgado, $20. Thank you, David, so much. David. And Melinda, you are a regular super chatter. I've seen quite a few from you, so I really appreciate it. Just want to donate for the Carnivore movie and to give glory to Jesus for the life-changing journey. Thank you. Amen. Awesome. Thank you. I really appreciate that. So many great carnivores out here. It's just amazing. $5 from Susan. For Ketovore, I love herbs from the gardens. Can we still season with them if they are plants? What do you think, Adam? This is always a tricky one.
Technically, if you want to go strict carnivore, I would say probably not, but it really just depends on you personally. You may not have any issues whatsoever with herbs, whether it be a metabolic issue that you have, or an autoimmune condition, or inflammation, or digestive issue with any of these herbs, or any food for that matter. So it's really an individual decision, in my opinion. There's no hard and fast rule that you should do this or shouldn't do that. I mean, you ultimately are the ruler of your own life. So you should make the decision on that, whether it's right for you or not, and your body will let you know.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I get that question a lot. Like, can I have this, or can I have that, or can I have this? Like on carnivore, it's like, if it's not a meat or animal product, then technically you're not carnivore, but it's not like it's some group like gatekeeper, like you're a carnivore. A lot of people don't want to have the plants doing carnivore because they're doing it maybe for an autoimmune disorder or something else. And so they're trying to eliminate the plants for that reason. If you're not doing it for that reason, maybe it's just weight loss, then maybe. And then I noticed too, you said ketovore. So if you're doing ketovore, probably just fine. Then I don't know what Dr. Barry says, ketovore is like 10 carbs or less. And some of that stuff should be just fine in that case. But if you're trying to do it for other reasons, it's probably better not to have those, just eliminate everything. Janet, $10. Thank you so much. When you get the trailer, don't ignore Angel Studios because they take all kinds of projects that amplify light. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know what you mean about the trailer, but we're actually playing Angel Studios' Sound of Freedom above me right now. So,
That's cool.
yeah, Amplify Light. I don't know if there's another movie coming out by them. I hope to play that one too. But yeah, quick update on Sound of Freedom. I was just telling Adam before this, it was nuts. So the movie started at 7 and the live stream started at 7:15. I ran down here. I was going to be late. We sold out. It was crazy. We had a line of people out the door for Sound of Freedom. I'm so happy to see it. It's such a great movie. Everybody needs to see this movie. Unfortunately, we had to tell some people there's no seats left. You're going to have to come back. But luckily, we're playing it until Thursday. And then I'm really hoping to try to get it for one more week after Thursday. People are so generous. We've had over, just yesterday, I can't even keep track of them now. We have over 160 tickets. People have just come in and they said, I want to pay it forward. Here's $10. Here's $20. Yesterday, a guy came in with a check for $200. I want to buy $200 worth of tickets to pay it forward. And so if anyone local is watching and you want to see Sound of Freedom and money's tight, you just come into Montello Theater. You simply ask for the red tickets for yourself, for your whole family, 6 people, 10 people, whatever. No questions asked. We give you the red tickets. You get in for free.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and we have a bunch of them because so many people have been so generous. I'm like, I don't think we're going to use these. They're like, I don't care. I'm still going to do it. And then if we don't use the tickets at the end, they still go just like as if they were used. And then that way, our theater gets a little tiny bit of that money. And then the Angel Studio still gets a whole bunch of that money, which is great because people are supporting the movie. They want to see more movies like that. So amazing how nice it's tough because you watch the news and social media and it's like, man, everything's so crappy and negative and it's tough sometimes, but there's a lot of really good people out there. The majority of people out there I think are really, really good. And then we had so many carnivores coming in the theater lately. I had 4 the other day. I had 3 yesterday. It's so much fun talking to these people. It's like then I wonder how many more are out there, but they're kind of carnivores in the closet. But
right.
Oh, Donna, thank you for your concern. Adam and I were going to do this yesterday. I apologize. I had to cancel. Thank you. You gave me good advice. I was worried that you were in the hospital after last night's hamburger fail. Happily, I must have been worried for nothing. You were. I felt horrible yesterday. I felt so bad I had to cancel. We were going to do this live stream yesterday, and I was like, what is going on? Carnivores don't get the stomach flu, or what is this?
Right.
And then I'm like, what did I do differently? And I did something very differently. I had a pound of Wagyu ground beef. I've never done that before. I had a steak the other day and a little bit of ground beef on the side. And it was so good. This company sent it to me. It's in my Thursday video. They sent me a free sample pack, which was amazing. I'm not an affiliate for them, but it's called Ozark Valley. And the only reason I'm suggesting it is because it was very good. This isn't a good, shouldn't be saying this now, I guess, but
right.
If you eat, this is nothing to do with them. Their stuff was amazing. It was so good. I'm eating some more of it tomorrow. Don't be stupid like me and try to eat a pound of Wagyu ground beef. It's a very fatty ground beef. And I think that's what got me. And then Adam, you said the same thing. Sometimes ground beef, if you eat any ground beef, it'll mess you up.
Mm-hmm.
I had way too much. And then in retrospect, I was like, that was really fatty, which I like. You got to get a lot of fat on carnivore, but this was extreme. This was too much. And I don't know. Normally I have like a steak or some patties or something, but that was all I had all day. And that was definitely it. Anyways, this morning I felt way better. So thank you so much for your concern. I really appreciate it. And I've learned my lesson. And I'm really glad that I don't have the flu or something else because I'm on day 130. I haven't had anything. I haven't been sick at all. So I'm like, I was joking yesterday to myself. I'm like, carnivores don't get sick. What's going on?
That's right.
Yeah. So there was nothing wrong with the meat. It was just consuming way too much at one time. All right. Let's see what other questions we have here. Happy Carrie feels better. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hi, Adam from Angie.
Hi, Angie.
Kay Roberts, don't do it. Adam, what do you have to say? He's thinking of giving in tonight. Too many carb cravings. I came here for inspiration.
Eat some salt and maybe fry up some bacon, and that should get rid of your cravings for sure.
I was going to say the same thing. That Dr. Barry always says that. It's so true. Bacon. And then if you still have cravings, Kay Roberts, eat some more bacon and then some more bacon and then some more bacon, but it should go away. Also, think about this. Think about the day before you started carnivore, all the junky food and how horrible you felt. And what's going to happen if you give into these cravings? Where are you going to be 5 years from now? Because it sounds like you're ready to give up. You give up. I always like to think of that. Like, what if people that are scared to start carnivore too, I always like to think of that. Okay, what if you don't start carnivore? What's going to happen if you continue doing what you've been doing for the next 5 years? But yeah, just eat some bacon. I hope that'll help you for sure.
Yep. Another thing along with that is focus on your why you're doing this, and lean back on that. So my why was an autoimmune condition, and it changed after I've seen all the other benefits aside from that autoimmune condition. Like literally, my why now is I want to feel amazing, like literally all the time. So my why has changed from, the autoimmune condition to wanting to feel absolutely amazing. So I would definitely focus on the psychological and the mental aspect of it too, and try to take food out of the equation as much as you possibly can. Hide your car keys, throw the carbs that you have in the house away.
Right.
Eat some salt and eat some bacon, and or go to sleep, whatever you got to do.
Yeah. I'm old Mike, my good friend. If you have cravings, you do not eat enough on your meal. After my meal, I don't even crave meat. That could be too. Are you eating too small of portions? So
True.
Eating bacon will help too, or eating enough fat. Because yeah, I never have cravings. I guess last thing, sorry, I'll spend too much time on this one, but the last thing too is, are you doing anything that's not strictly carnivore? So for example, some people are like, yeah, I'm carnivore, but I still drink diet soda. Now, if I still drink diet soda, I would still have cravings, even though it's artificial sweetener, not real sugar, whatever is in there, that would still give me cravings. So if you're doing any of that, maybe try to knock that off too. But make sure you're getting enough in your meal and enough fat, because yeah, I haven't had any cravings at all. That's one of the things I love about carnivore. I don't have to measure anything. I don't have to think about it. I eat till I'm full and I don't have any cravings. Question: I'm not familiar with the full history of the modern carnivore diet movement. Do we know when it started and by who? Oh, I know this answer. Do you know this? Do you know this one, Adam, or you want me to take it first?
I believe it was Dr. Sean Baker. Is that right?
Yep. He literally wrote the book on it, and he was the first one to call it carnivore. And I think he was on Joe Rogan way back in the day, one of the first people talking about it. So, yep, Dr. Sean Baker. Yeah, so he has a whole book about carnivore diet, and yeah, that answers the question right there.
He's agreed to help us too, right?
Yes. Yep. That was what was crazy last week. Dr. Barry was on the channel. I was on Dr. Baker's channel a couple of weeks earlier, and I didn't know when it was going to go live. He does so much work in interviews, and it dropped the day after. So it's like Dr. Barry on one day, and then the next day was Dr. Baker's thing. It's just crazy. But yeah, he very nicely agreed, and he might be on the channel too. I think he's on vacation for a while, and then he was going to come and do a video with me on the channel. So that'll be fun.
Nice.
Lily Gigi, hey guys, are you feeling better, Carrie? Yes, thank you. I'm 100% better. I ate way too much Wagyu ground beef. International health coach. I'm carnivore, BBBE, and I do OMAD with a small potato or yam. I need more meat for sure. Maybe time to eat twice a day and only BBB. Yeah, or get rid of that potato. I don't know how you're doing that. If I had a potato, there's lots of carbs in there. I think that would mess me up, but everyone's different, so I always got to be careful. But
for sure.
Let's see. Oh, someone said, can you tell me about the meetup in Illinois? I'm in the northwest suburbs of Illinois. Oh, it's near you then. I think it's near you. So this is my friend. I'm not going to mention names because I don't know if they want me to, but they've come into the theater twice now. Just lovely, amazing people. It's this young lady and her mom. And her mom just started carnivore recently, and the young lady has been doing carnivore for I think 2 years now. They're so sweet. It's so fun talking to carnivores. They came into the theater. I gave them a big tour. They graciously donated way too much money for the Carnivore Diet movie, which was really nice. And now they just came back in last night to watch Sound of Freedom, and I got to chat with them for a while, and they invited me. So I'm really hoping I can go here, and I want to take Emma with me. It's August 26th. It's the LaSalle, Illinois meetup. So if you Google that, hopefully you can find it. LaSalle. I'll just write it here in the comments real quick. So it's because I would love it if anyone else is here and they're nearby. This is 3 hours for me, but I don't care. I really want to go to a meetup, and I think it'd be fun to go with Emma. And it's so much fun. Adam, have you met many carnivores in real life? Not on the internet?
Nope. Well, one. That's it.
Yeah,
Most of
it's
them have been on the internet, but yeah, it'd be really neat to meet up in person for sure.
yeah. So I just posted in the comments, anyone in the Illinois, Wisconsin area willing to drive a little while. August 26th, LaSalle, Illinois meetup. They're meeting at the Uptown Grill, 601 First Street in LaSalle. And then we're doing a walk, a little hike at Starved Rock State Park. And then there's a meeting at a lodge at 4 p.m. Amanda is the guest speaker at the cattle sale. Yeah, so it should be a bunch of fun.
Cool.
If I do that, I'm sure you guys will see it on YouTube. I'll have to document some of that. Be a fun little road trip with Emma. Actually, I should probably drive because Emma's got 16 now with her license, but she's still learning how to drive, so to speak. She still makes me nervous. Carnivore Ron, yup, I returned 3 books to the library, having read them in 5 days. Carnivore Ron is great too. Carnivore Ron was on the channel. Go check out his channel too. He's doing.
Yep.
He started out and now he's inspiring a whole bunch of people. Here we go. Question for Adam. What was the hardest part for you in your transition to full carnivore?
Ooh, that's a good question. The hardest part was probably the restroom incidents. That was. I'm lucky that I own my own business, so I'm able to work from home. And if that wasn't the case, man, I don't know what would happen. But that was definitely the biggest challenge for me. And that's why one of my number one recommendations is to go slow if you can to start out, for sure.
Awesome. Let's see. What other questions do we have here? Oh, a whole bunch of comments. You guys are so nice. My stomach is great. Thanks. Jen is doing well. She's going back to do ketovore for a while and then back to carnivore is her plan. But her stomach was just so messed up. She was really suffering for a long time. So, but she's starting to feel better. You can see her coming back, get some energy. She's working like crazy today in the movie theater. So I think she had some cottage cheese and then she had she had some turkey with some lettuce. So she was almost still carnivore when she just had I was like, you're kind of still carnivore on the cottage cheese, but then she had a little bit of lettuce. But yeah, she's doing well. Thank you. Let's see. What other questions do we have here? Carnivore Kip. Hey, Carnivore Kip.
Uh-oh.
I got to just shout out everybody. Anyone here hasn't watched Carnivore Kip yet, go watch it. Carnivore Kip, I watch your channel all the time, buddy. Let you know that. I watched you and your wife, and you went out to the Brazilian place, and someone recognized him from the video we did together. We did this smoking cook-off, and they bought his lunch. So Kip, you owe me lunch. They notice it on your channel or my channel. You owe me lunch. I'm gonna come down there and visit you with some camera equipment. But Kip's got an awesome channel. He's so funny and inspirational. Yep. What did you say? It's like he was out jogging the other day. 400 or 500 pounds. He's out jogging. He's going for it. I'm so happy for him. A bunch of people are saying, hey Kip, just watch your video. And Kip just got a new computer for editing. Got any questions on that, Kip? Let me know because I'm running the same thing you're doing right now. I just recently, Adam, upgraded my computer. I keep telling people that too. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but I just want people to know I'm invested in the Carnivore Diet documentary. The footage coming off of that Netflix-approved camera is just so high level. My other computer, which was a decent computer, was just bogging down. So I use my own money because I'm going to use this computer for personal stuff, but I wouldn't have purchased it if not for this Carnivore Diet documentary. So I can edit the stuff on there.
Did you get a Mac or PC?
A Mac. MacBook Pro. Was that a thumbs up or no?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay,
Two
cool.
thumbs up.
I've just been using it so long. Believe it or not, probably 600 videos I did on YouTube, I was editing on iMovie, which I know is just so rookie level. But I'll tell you what, you could show me something in Final Cut and I could do it in iMovie. Like I've got all the tips and tricks and green screens and animations, and I've done all that stuff in there. It's just become second nature. But I've been using Final Cut Pro for a while now, and on the new computer and for the documentary stuff. And I'm loving it. It's obviously so much more in there, but I could do things way easier that I was like finding little hacks and workarounds in iMovie to do. Someone said they did the Power Bowl the other day, but also added kidney and liver. It was so tasty. Oh, that's nice. BBBEKL. Have to make a new one up for that.
Right. I was thinking about that too, putting together a t-shirt design to help to fund the documentary and have like a retro kind of look like it looks like a walk, but it's a, Power Bowl, and just, have like a retro font Power Bowl over the top, and then whatever the ingredients are, just kind of a throwback kind of a shirt. I know Alex would definitely buy one.
Yes. Yeah, I saw his video. He's done a couple videos on that.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ideas for more t-shirts. I should do some more. Because the other one is always the carnivores don't, which my family is so sick of hearing me saying, like, I don't want to take a nap. What are you talking about? Carnivores don't nap. Yesterday I was saying carnivores don't get sick. Someone's asking, what is the latest tally with Bill's GoFundMe? Well, let's take a quick look and see. It is $12,895. By the end of this call, I think we'll be over $13,000 for Bill. Awesome. Just amazing. So generous. $100 from Shelly on the latest donation right there.
Very generous.
Let's see. How far? Oh, I'm wondering if when we get some volunteers to help, they got to come up with some better software for this where it just puts the questions together. I feel bad too.
I don't know how you're navigating it. It's just a never-ending stream.
Yeah, and you get to the bottom and they're like, "Oh no, new comments. I didn't get to the bottom yet." And now we got a super chat. Let's see what we got here. First, we have Jeff, who's a new member. Thank you, Jeff. Oh, we got a bunch of members, and that is really helping. You can become awesome. A member of Homestead How. You just click the little join button under any one of the videos. It's like a couple dollars a month. We send you things like insider information other people don't get about the Carnivore Diet Doc. And I got to do some more of that. Emma's been helping me. I keep telling Emma, she sends me pictures of her food. I'm like, put it on there. People want to see that stuff. But I've got some big updates on the documentary. Every penny from that goes to help with the documentary. So thank you, Jeff. Lisa says, my floaters in my eyes are gone since carnivore. 5 months now, lost 50 pounds. Long live carnivores. Congratulations. That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Carmela, $12. Decided to stop cheese and cream to get over a stall. Good idea. It will help. Comment back 2 days from now. I guarantee you, you're going to be like, whoa, it just started dropping off again when you stop doing that. It happens for so many people. Mm-hmm. Thank you for all the nice comments. Question from Mike Woodward. How can people who can't handle a lot of fat be able to follow a carnivore diet eating plan? I can answer this one a little bit because, so my wife, I think that's the problem that she's been having. She doesn't have a gallbladder. I don't have a gallbladder either. You could still do it. A lot of people are perfectly fine. I never had issues. Some people will take like the bile salts to help, I guess, with the digestion and the fat and stuff like that. I guess that's more so if you don't have the gallbladder. But other recommendations I've heard, like some of the good doctors like Dr. Berry say is just you might have to adjust things where, like for myself right now, I'm on Lion diet. I ate a big fatty steak at like noon, like 1.5 pounds of meat. That's all I eat, nothing else for 23 more hours. If I couldn't handle the fat or for gallbladder issues, stuff like that, I would have to cut that meal up into a couple of meals, just have a little bit of meat with a little bit of fat, and then give it a couple hours to digest it and then go from there. Yeah, I don't know. Adam, do you have anything else on that one?
No. Aside from what, Dr. Berry says to basically eat smaller meals, eat more smaller meals throughout the day to try to break up how much your body has to process.
The Poco Moonshine family. Hey, look who's behind me.
Uh-oh.
Emma.
Hi.
What's going on? Did you bring me some water?
I brought something better.
What is this?
My homemade steak. I'm just kidding.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, you got me a steak. Everyone clap.
That's awesome.
There's this place in Portage. It's like a half an hour from here. And I've just been craving them for a while, but I'm at the movie theater every night. It's usually too late. So
Do you want a ribeye or
I'm not going to eat it right now. Just leave it right there. I'll have it after. Thank you. That was awesome. So there's Emma, everybody. The Poco Moonshine family. What is your favorite carnivore snack? This is JT. This guy teared me up the other day, Adam. So he saw my 30-day update video. He's from Wisconsin. He started carnivore just like your story and everyone else that starts carnivore. It's changing his life. he was crying a little bit, saying, "Thank you, Carrie. God bless you for telling me this and inspiring me. I'm so happy I started Carnivore."
That's awesome.
He's on the channel Thursday, I think. I'm running. I can't remember anymore, but on Thursday he's coming on, and I'm looking forward to that. So, bye, Emma. Thank you.
I think I just subbed to their channel too. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Oh, I didn't even
what they
answer the
said.
question.
Yep.
So carnivore snacks, carnivores don't snack. Next question. No, just joking. One thing is hard-boiled eggs are great. Emma and I did a video on carnivore snacks, but I really don't snack at all anymore. When I was first starting, I might have more. If you're traveling, it's good to kind of have a snack or a go-to. We've tested out carnivore snacks, SNAX. They're really expensive though, but they're very good. They come in a little bag, and it's just like beef jerky, but it's just meat and salt and nothing else. And they got some good flavors, but it's like $40 a bag. It's so expensive. If I were to go traveling, I would probably just suck it up and spend the $40 just to have that as like an emergency thing. But otherwise, I don't snack that much. Sorry, one other thing is when I have a piece of steak that's way too fatty, I'll cut the fat up into little pieces, put it in the air fryer. It's kind of part of the meal, so it's not really a snack, but that would be a delicious snack.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Adam? Do you do any snacking?
I don't snack. Initially, when I first started transitioning, we'd fry up a whole pack of bacon and leave it in the fridge, and I'd eat it cold or nuke it in the microwave for 5 seconds or whatever. But after about 2 months in, I don't snack anymore. I just don't have a desire to.
Yep, same. Looking forward to our video together, JT, though, and thank you. Cecilia, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it sounds cool. Carrie, did you have oxalate dumping? I had it in my eyes for 8 weeks. No, I haven't. I'm so sorry to hear that. I heard someone else did where they almost had like crystals or something coming out of their eye. Just painful. Did you have any oxalate issues, Adam?
I did. It started with a rash in the middle of my back, and like literally every few days it kept creeping up, and then gradually worked its way around the front a little bit. Ooh. And it's all gone now, thankfully, because I was kind of concerned there for a little while, like maybe I should go get this checked out. But I've always had an aversion to doctors. So
right. Question for Adam.
I was able to hold off long enough. What's that?
Nice. Question for Adam on cat food recipe.
Mm-hmm.
What were you said? Was it just meat, or do you use like, I know some people have like a big meat grinder and grind stuff up?
So we don't actually make the meat. We order it from a place called Hare Today, HARE-today.com. And it's actually, they put tripe, ground up organs, ground up bones in the actual meat. And then there's a supplement that you mix in it that's like a powder that has like protein solids and stuff like that. That's all animal based. It's called Al-Nutrin. And you just one little tiny scoop of that per pound of meat. And you put a little bit of water in it, mix it up, and that's it. That's their entire meal.
Cool.
Pretty simple.
Nice. Yeah. Do you eat fruits and honey? No, I don't do either of those. No, not on carnivore. I know, well, Paul Saladino, I think he switched over and does some stuff like that, but not for me. Question, is it okay to add a squeeze of lemon to water and beef? I've heard people do that. I guess technically lemon isn't an animal product, so, but I think most people are probably just fine with that. If you can tolerate it, fine. I don't think it would really hurt anything. If you, I don't like, what's your reason? Why do it? For me, that's what people always say, like, oh, I got to have this, I got to have that. And I'm at the point on carnivore where I don't have to have anything but beef and water. Is it just like a luxury thing? But some people were recommending to Jen to squeeze a little bit of lemon in water for some of her stomach issues. So if you're doing it for something like that, I'm sure it probably wouldn't really hurt much at all. Let's see what else we got here.
I just want to say thank you to everybody for hanging out with us. It's really cool.
Yeah, 400. We just hit 400. Amazing.
That's awesome.
Anyone feed their family carnivore? Well, you guys got to watch my Thursday video to see the update. My whole family finally started carnivore after like 120 days over the weekend, and we all went for a couple days, but sadly a few fell off the wagon. So well, I've got some more of that in our video coming up. Actually, after the movie theater, we're going home to film. I got this cool campfire area. It's just the lighting. You will appreciate it, Adam. It's got some good lighting. It's going to be a cool outdoor scene. So we're doing a little family update video on the whole carnivore situation and where everybody's at on it. You mentioned earlier your older son starting carnivore. Anyone else in the family?
Well, my wife eats more meat now than she has in the past, which I think is definitely helping her a little bit. She hasn't decided to make the leap yet, but and I completely respect that. Hey, we're all individuals. We all make our own choices, and you do you, and I'll do me, and all I can do is just be an example.
Right.
I'll cook all your meals if you decide to switch over, babe.
That's a big incentive. That's
Right.
one of the reasons I just want to do it too, because I'm like, yeah, I can't really force anybody to do it, but boy, it sure would be nice if we just all ate as a family. Our family eating has been screwed up for so long, because even before I started carnivore, we had Emma doing vegan and Jen a vegetarian. My daughter Katie was like, I'll eat this, not that. And then it's like, when I was a kid, it would have been like, you just sit down and eat the meatloaf and shut up, and that's what you're going to get. That's going to be the end of it.
Right.
That's literally what it was, but I
Right.
probably should have been that way a little bit more. Question: how do you not fall off the wagon at the weekend? Because when I'm off of work, I struggle with the shopping. I go to the store and I buy carbs because the family isn't carnivore. Yeah, just don't do that. You got to be strict. For me, I know my why. I know if I have one little granule of sugar, I will go off. I'll be eating birthday cake and everything else, and it's never once felt good cheating for me I've never cheated on carnivore. But when I was doing keto, I used to have a cheat day once a week, and I felt miserable every single time. I still would do it. Every Saturday morning would come along. I'm like, I'm just gonna have some raspberries or something. I'm gonna take it easy this weekend. Every single time, by the end of the day, I would just be pigging out, and I'd just feel horrible the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Not worth it. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything else on that one, Adam?
What comes to mind is that quote. I know I'm going to mess this up, from James Clear, where he said that something to the effect of the decisions that you make now will decide who you want to be in the future. So I always thought that was pretty impactful, so if you're deciding to buy the carbs and eat the carbs, even though you don't really need to, then you're deciding who you want to be in the future. Somebody that doesn't feel that great, or ultimately it's up to you to make the decision. But I try to fall back on that as much as possible with most decisions, not just for food. So
good one. Here's a great question from Sharon. How can I do the lion diet or carnivore on a strict budget with meat? It's so expensive as today. The price of meat is what makes these plans difficult for some of us. Yeah, I get that. Meat is so expensive. A couple things I've heard, and I think that are good advice, is number one, first you got to do the real true math, because if you're not eating carnivore, what are you eating? And are you really adding all that up? Because it really adds up when you consider breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then you eat breakfast and you have a crash an hour later, you're starving, and you have like a granola bar and some fruit. You go out to eat, maybe some soda, stuff from the gas station. If you cut all of that out and you really do the math, a lot of people, for me and myself, when I did the true math to myself, I'm like, I'm actually saving money eating meat. And then the other thing I've heard Dr. Berry say many times is ground beef. You can eat ground beef. You can eat eggs. Even if you have to go eat lunch meat, it's not ideal, but don't feel like you have to go get grass-fed, grass-finished beef. Dr. Berry said it so good the other day. He's like, even if you're eating like the cheapest lunch meat at the grocery store, obviously that's not ideal, but it's still 100 times better than the standard American diet where you're eating sugar and garbage. You got inflammation and all sorts of problems from it. Charger Mopar said too, he shops around and buys markdown meat, so looking for the sales. Aldi's is pretty good. Like I know Jen used to do the coupon stuff, and then we just gave it up because we're like, what do you put your time into it? Then you just look at Aldi. It's so much cheaper to get it. And Aldi's has some pretty surprisingly decent meat. We get some from there. I know a lot of people get a lot of good meat from there. So that's what I would have on it. I don't know. Do you have anything else to add on that one, Adam?
Yeah, our grocery bill, at least for my half of the food, is it's cut in half. Literally, it seems like it costs so much more because you're not buying that much meat now with everything else that you're buying, but you're replacing meat with everything else that you're buying now. So if you compare the two, it's probably hard to see now until you transition. But once you transition, you're like, holy cow, I'm not spending hardly anything on food, and I feel great.
And you eat less. A lot of people go in with a mindset of, I eat 3 meals a day and snacks now. Now I got to translate that to steaks.
Right.
That's not how it works. I eat
No.
1 steak a day.
Right.
Some people were watching my video like, oh, it must be nice because I took the girls to this fancy steak restaurant, and it was nice, and it was way more expensive than what I would normally do. But then I'm like, on the flip side, I didn't eat breakfast, lunch, dinner. I didn't go get donuts in the morning. I didn't have any Starbucks, and I'm just drinking water. So it tends to even out that way. But Carnivore Ron's asking, do you work out? That's for you, Adam. I work out a little bit in the morning every morning.
A little bit. Put it to you this way. I stopped martial arts when I was 18 because I started working and adulting. I said, the heck with this. I'm never working out again. And I literally never worked out until literally recently, maybe the last 4 months. And I'm using some resistance bands, some dumbbells. But my health is just through the roof. I mean, I could have never imagined being at this point at my age and going backwards. I literally feel like I'm 26, not 46. And my metabolic health on the scale, it's got a little thing that tells you what your metabolic age is. Mine's 4 years younger than what I am. So I do lift a little bit, not a lot, just kind of enough to make sure that I feel good. But yep.
Nice. Got a couple of super chats. I'm going to skip this one and go to the next one until I can find the answer. Carmilla said, was learning before starting carnivore lifestyle watching Dr. Barry, but it was your video sitting outside with your bucket of meds that changed my life. Oh, do you mean this bucket of meds? Yeah. That's the other reason, by the way, that earlier question, steak is expensive. When I wasn't eating steak, I was on most of those meds. Those are from a couple of years, so not all of them at one time, but those were incredibly expensive.
That's
I'd have to go every single time. I'm on 0 medication now, plus all of those doctor's trips too. Let me see here. Someone is asking, can you post a link to the join button for people using iPhones? I'm trying to find the join button. It doesn't show for me, I think, because I can't join my own channel. I just Googled real quick. If you Google how to join on an iPhone, it shows you a little video because maybe it's hidden or something, but you should be able to find that join button. I can't, unfortunately, just give you a link. It's not letting me find one. And I think even if it showed it on YouTube, it's kind of hidden until you click on it. Wow, we've been going an hour 47. There's 407 people in here. I got to wrap this up here soon. The movie's getting over in a second. Let's see if we had any other questions. I'm getting closer. Let's see here. Someone said Bill isn't alone. He has Daisy. Yeah, Daisy's going to be a vital part of that. I was writing down all the shots I want to get when I go visit Bill, like drone shots and everything. I'm like, I definitely got to get a bunch of footage of Daisy. Do you guys eat lean meats at all? Fish, chicken, turkey? I don't have any. I'm on carnivore. I'm on lion now. I just have beef and water. But before that, I would have fish every now and then. What about you, Adam? You doing anything like that?
We smoked a pork butt for my wife's birthday the other day, and that's just because we got a new smoker. Normally, I'm just eating beef and eggs and some butter, and usually not bacon anymore. I don't know why, but that's mainly what I'm eating. Nice.
This question I think we kind of answered. If you have problems with diarrhea when you eat fat, what do you do? Just eat less fat. It's usually because you're consuming too much fat. It's a really good kind of regulator. And if you're not going enough, you probably need a little bit more fat. Someone said, Carrie, find Vinny Tortorich has made 3 movies. Yes, I've watched his movies and they're awesome. I got to connect with that guy. That's on my list. Also, connecting with Dr. Philip Ovadia is another one I got to connect with. I got most of the other ones, but man, it would be great to have him on as well.
And Jordan Peterson and Joe Rogan. If you're listening.
Ultimate wish list. Yeah.
Right.
That would be amazing, especially Dr. Peterson, because a big part of the documentary I want to do is on mental health. I kind of want to do a video. I think everything that Jordan Peterson done has been wonderful, but I was thinking maybe it's going to be a little controversial, but I want to do a video kind of calling him out, because one thing that kind of rubs me the wrong way with him, I'm going to get some hate on here because I know a lot of people like Jordan Peterson, but he's so hesitant. I get it because he's so famous and popular, but he's so hesitant to talk about carnivore. But then he opens it up when some people talk about it. He was just on Bill Maher's podcast, and I watched it just waiting to hear him talk about carnivore. Never said anything. I think obviously he's scared because he's not a doctor, and then he's very influential. People could do it. But on the flip side, he's like changed so many people's lives with his books and his teachings and all of that stuff. But imagine how many he could change with carnivore. And he knows it firsthand. Maybe it's just a matter of time and he's going to come up with something. But man, like,
Facts.
say it, speak it. The only time was like, well, he did Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan got some good info out of him. But it's like, it's amazing the results he has had and his daughter has had. And he said it himself. But all of the work he does, it's like, man, focus like a month on talking about carnivore. You could change the world with your influence.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, thank you. So yeah, this was JT from before. Kerry saved my life. He's a great guy with a big heart. The Carnivore Diet movie will change my life. Thank you so much. Don't make me tear up again. Dr. Kiltz is a female reproductive doctor. He lives nearly every morning. He does a live nearly every morning at 5 a.m. and he's awesome. He's got such great energy. He's so fun. I can't wait. He's going to be on the channel on the 8th. August 8th.
Very cool.
And I am looking forward to that one because believe it or not, he deals with women's health, but I've got 4 women living in my house, and Lily's had so many issues over the years that I've got just a list of questions for him. So I think it'll help out a lot of people because a lot of people can relate to the questions that Lily's had. Someone said, yeah, sold out. Yeah, it's crazy. Just crazy. We've had a couple. I'm looking for more questions while I'm talking here. Kimberly Lane, big shout out. Go check out her YouTube channel. I just subscribed yesterday. I can't even eat plain ground beef by itself. Yeah, a lot of people have been saying that.
Me neither.
We sold out for a man called Otto a bunch of times. We broke records because they've never sold out like 3 days in a row. We sold out 3 days in a row for a man called Otto, and we sold out for Mario Brothers. This movie is Sound of Freedom sold out today. I'm so happy about that. Not because we're like making a bunch of money off of it. It's such a great movie. Everybody needs to see it. And it's really cool that that movie's been out for a long time now. We've had it at the theater since Wednesday. And we almost sold out the day before, but it's sold out again. So that's pretty awesome. Currently trying to up my fat to help with my autoimmune condition. And as I add more, I get cramping and I get constipated. Any tips? That's an interesting one. Most people that add more fat get the opposite of constipated. I'm not really sure on that one. I guess, what kind of fats are you eating? Maybe switch it up a little bit. Some people, when I first started, I would get too much fat and I would get like some stomach issues and things like that. Or if I drank too much water, heartburn and stuff, especially when I was having too much butter when I first started. I guess it depends on your fat. Maybe try to switch it up a little bit. Do you have anything on that one, Adam?
Well, I guess the question that I would have is it actually constipation? Like I thought that I was, and I just literally wasn't going for 5 days because of my body apparently is able to metabolize and absorb the nutrients from this food in a really good way now. So if you're having pain, I would probably talk to your doctor about that. As far as cramping goes, drinking lots and lots of water, way more water than you think you need, can definitely help with that, and the electrolytes. But as far as the fat connection with the constipation, I haven't heard it in that direction, so I can't help you there.
Yeah, good stuff. Am I the only one since being carnivore that's always cold? Happened to me too. Yes, and I never was before. I think it's because all that fat's gone off of our bodies. It was like a fat suit. That's my theory. Anyway, I might be wrong. I don't know. But when I was carrying around all that fat, I was hot all the time, and I do get colder a lot quicker now.
Yep, same here.
Someone said, can people join for free? I'm not sure what you're asking, but the Carnivore Diet movie, yes, it's free. You just register. If you want to join as a member of the channel, I think it's like $2.99 is the smallest one. Oh, what type of rash did you get for the oxalate dumping? And then I'm sorry, this has to be the last question. I hear people stomping up above. So the movie just ended. I got to help everyone shut down up there. Do you know that one, Adam?
Mine was just kind of, I don't know, it was more oval shaped, maybe 3 inches wide by 1 inch tall. And it just kind of kept moving around. And it was more, pinkish red type of standard rash.
Got it.
It wasn't, yeah.
I think we got almost all the questions. I'm really sorry if I missed a couple. Man, we're at almost 2 hours here. I got to head back upstairs because the movie's ending. But Adam, I got to say thank you so much for everything you're doing, helping out with the Carnivore Diet movie. Everybody, please help out our fellow carnivore here. Started a new YouTube channel. I wouldn't be recommending it if I didn't think it was great. It's very good. It's like the production quality of something you'd see on like a regular TV show. It's awesome.
Well,
It
thanks,
really
Sherry. I
is. Your
appreciate
background,
that.
your everything, the quality you're putting into it's great. So everyone check it out. Carnivore Today. Check it out on YouTube. Subscribe. Share it with your friends. Watch the whole videos. And yeah, is there anything else you wanted to say before we wrap it up, Adam?
Well, if you're having any struggles, just let us know in the comments, and I'll try to help you out. I'm sure Carrie will try to help you out in any way that we can. And there's plenty of other people here too that are experienced that could help as well. So just feel free to reach out, and don't be afraid. That's what we're here for.
Absolutely. Yeah. If we missed your question too, like Adam said, throw it in the comments below. I'll make sure we get to it. And yeah, I guess we'll end it right there. So thank you everyone so much. Man, we had over 400 people here. This is just crazy. This was a lot of fun, Adam. We're gonna have to do this again sometime. And yeah, I'll have to go on your channel at some point. I'd be happy to.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We'll get you on the Keto Cookout Live at some point.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.